Welcome to the Big BoneYard. Enter at your own risk.
Man, I like our intro, man. Like the music and whatnot is popping. Hey, folks, America, bikers all over the place and whatnot. Hey, thank you for joining us tonight. Once again here at the Big BoneYard. I know we was here last week. Probably gonna be doing this every single week there is. We're kind of all kinds of excited because we got all kinds of good news to talk about, and we got a great thing that we're gonna talk about tonight. But as per usual, if I might take a moment of your precious time to introduce doggone the hostess with the mostest, doggone Archbishop 1%er. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. And along with that, we got our favorite Uncle Shaggy. Uncle Shaggy, how you feeling tonight, sir?
Oh, wore out. Just flat wore out.
Wait a minute. Wore out? What, from riding motorcycles and doing other things that I ain't gonna tell your old lady about? How was your, how was your weekend? Do it that way.
Our brother put out a call. We went and helped him handle his business, and you know, brothers don't own shit that's light, so we did that, and then I spent pretty much after that pushing everything that I was gonna do that Saturday morning to Saturday night that turned into about an hour ago. Everything finally settled down. So working on motorcycles and like I was telling you earlier, didn't get a goddamn thing fixed. But I looked at the last one and said, you know what, it's time to close the shop down. And I that's why I'm here at my chair tonight. I mean, it's time to relax, throw my feet up in the air, and you know. We do rest from time to time. I think we're forced to.
Mm-hmm.
And today was one of those. I literally, my hands hurt. It's just so bad and so busy. My arthritis is like, dude, fuck off. Go. You're not even picking up soda.
Man, hey, I get it. That forced arrest thing. It's like I swear, you know, because. We you know how it is in this lifestyle. You do a lot, you're running a lot and all like that, and then you always say that Danny Glover line, I'm getting too old for this shit. But dude, sometimes I'll find myself I'm on the second or third day of just getting it in, pounding it, doing this, doing that, and then you just boom, you're dead to the world for like, you know, half a day, maybe a whole day, something like that. But I feel
but the second or third day is when you're hitting your stride. It's about the fifth day is when you start hallucinating, seeing pink elephants shitting on the floor, crazy stuff like that.
I hear you. Hey, Archbishop 1%er, brother, how you feeling tonight?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good, brother. How y'all doing?
Yeah, I'll bitch moan and complain about that in a minute. How was your weekend, brother?
Man, I worked all day Saturday. Today I got out a little bit, went and got me 18 holes in at the golf course, and
Wait a minute, you golf?
Yeah.
Does that come with does it come with the ape hanger golf cart, or do you have the ape hanger bag?
Hey, look,
I'm on the bag in the golf cart. I mean, because I ain't about to.
Man, hey, we might have found a new Grey Poupon 1%er.
It might not be me
no Pinky's more. In the air, man. You pinky in the air.
See, but you know what I mean, throughout the years, I mean, it ain't like as old guys, you gotta find something to do. You know what I mean? We get over 40, 50 going on. You know, I mean, you can't be out here playing basketball and football to young heads no more. You got to find something you can do. So I learned how to play golf years ago. So I got something to do now.
Shit. Well, now we know Shaggy worked on motorcycles. Apparently for fun because didn't nothing get fixed. But how'd you do on the golf course?
You know, you got to do something. You know, I mean, I had the opportunity. Got a couple bros had called me. They wanted to go golfing. I'm like, all right, let's go. I mean, I hadn't been since I moved down here to Florida. So I needed to knock off a little rust anyway. So it was pretty good, man. I had a good time.
Right on. That's what's up.
What'd
All
you
right,
get
man.
into? I mean, you had a little adventure this weekend.
Ah,
You feel that?
Now be
man.
careful. You know we're watched by the alphabet soup, so you
Yeah,
can't
I'm
go
gonna.
by the title and start admitting to a whole bunch of shit. Remember,
Right.
if nobody talks, everybody walks.
That part, and I was thinking that when the question came in, so I'm gonna say it like this: if any of y'all seen a docu series, I think they call it on Netflix, called Murder Mountain, that's where I was. I was in California for the past several days. Just got back not that long ago. I got back last night, but I was out in Murder Mountain doing what they do in Murder Mountain allegedly. Um, but yeah, it's in California, up in the hills. Of course, we hit LA and Sacktown, Sacramento, just because. But damn, man, I see what you're saying. I'm thinking about the alphabets in my head, so I got to be careful what I say. But yeah, I ended up in Murder Mountain. Watch the damn documentary on Netflix called Murder Mountain.
I was telling my wife about that. I said, she said, just watch the first 10 minutes. We don't have to watch the whole thing. The first 10 minutes explains everything.
Right, yeah, exactly. First 10 minutes, you'll be like, oh, okay. But I'll throw some pictures up on some ones that I can share on social media. I'll put some of that stuff up there so everybody can kind of get a idea as to how my weekend was. But yeah, it was crazy than a motherfucker. Let's take a minute to say our folks, Heather. Man, thank you for being here, Heather. Doggone Frost, as always, you're watching out for us. Phoenix, girl, we see you. Stacy, thank you for being here. Big motherfucking Red, Big Red, the model. She be watching out for us. We got Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is watching. Tony's watching. Doggone big man Chris. Black Dragon, hey, Black Dragon, we see you, brother. Black Dragon says, let's see what Black Dragon said. I said, I just want to say what's up as we speak, and I'm riding my motorcycle, got my girl on the back, and I'm going to listen to you as we're riding, going to take a trip, not too far, but far enough. Love y'all. Hey, good, Black Dragon, good looking, man, good looking. And of course,
hey, he's one of them cats, this new generation that can text and fucking ride and watch YouTube at the same time. I'm here to tell you right now.
Yeah,
I got throttle hand, brake, shift, sit back, relax. I don't want to touch nothing else. I'll probably more wreck that fucking motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, I get it. And but yeah, so I wanted to throw out also while we're at it, of course, actually, let's go ahead and get our what we like to call our disclaimer out of the way. As we're getting started here, as we do every week, yeah, we're gonna go some everywhere as far as the stuff that we're talking about. We're gonna chop it up about all kinds of stuff. These are the opinions of myself, Doggone Archbishop 1%er, Shaggy 1%er. We're going to say what we have to say. These are our opinions, not the opinions of our respective clubs. We love our clubs. We're proud to be in our clubs. But this is what we got to say. This don't have nothing to do with outcasts or invaders. This is what we got to say about what we got to say. So we got that out of the way. And always love, respect to all those folks that hold us down, both the viewers, the boneheads out there. Of course, Fran Hash always showing us plenty of love, keeping this thing going. She's still working real hard. To help the community. We understand that the food drive, her 14th annual food drive, was very, very successful. So for all of y'all that came out there, we really appreciate it. We don't have the words, but folks are going to be enjoying a great benefit from the love that y'all showed. So good looking on that. So tonight's show, what we're talking about tonight is support clubs. Some folks don't know what the hell that is, or never heard the expression, as I'm learning. some people don't had never heard about a support club, what that means, or anything else like that. And we're going to chop that up a little bit. But the way that we're talking about support clubs, that's who, what, when, where, and why. So a support club, just a real short version of it, that's a club that supports a certain dominant club. In most cases, they're supporting a dominant club. Now, stand by. What the hell? In most cases, they're supporting. I was trying to read that joint, but anyway, yeah, I was playing with technology there, so excuse me, folks. But anyway, so what we're gonna do is delve into that a little bit, like why are they, what are they, and all that kind of stuff. So, and of course, there's differences with these support clubs on the white side and on the black side. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hang in there a minute.
You will when we're done.
Yeah, right. So, having said that, hey, Archbishop, if you can usher us into this conversation, sir, what the hell is a support club?
Well, a support club is generally a club that that comes in as that basically a support club of your dominant. Your dominant basically gives them the liberty to fly around and ride around, sport the rags and whatever, and you and in return, then you get support from them. Now, what I mean by support is I'm not talking about monetary things. I'm talking about support as in, you know, you riding along with the dominant club, you showing up at the clubhouse, you contributing to the stuff that they have going on, different functions, stuff like that. It's basically just that, being a support.
Right on. Okay. And so we get that, and we're going to delve into it in a minute. But Shaggy, so when we talk about a support club, what would you say, you know, the cookie cutter version of it, like, you know, the cut and paste version of a support club? What is a support club? Like, what's their function?
So I'll start this out by saying anything, and I mean anything coming out of my mouth on this topic tonight is strictly 100% my opinion. What you're going to find in the 1% world, there are brothers out there that have a difference of opinion when it comes to support clubs, and some vary. Some love them, some absolutely hate them, some don't understand them. Some think that these people just try to fill their lives with something they can't live, but they want to be close enough to the animal and just not get bit. So I kind of came around back in the day where you didn't see a lot of sport clubs. And so when they started coming down on the scene, I at first I didn't understand them. Like, you see them wearing almost the same exact colors, and they're riding with the dominant, and from a distance you couldn't really tell the difference of who was who. And so that kind of started my research, and that started about 2005. No, yeah, it'd be 2005. It was the first sport club I'd ever seen, and I asked what they were about back then. So I want to try it back then to now type thing. So back then it was they were there to support the dominant and by any means necessary, meaning they basically were there to be like a full patch prospect, but at a little bit higher level in a prospect, but lower than a member. They were there to support the functions. They were there to support the nationals. They were there to support the community. They were started basically to add numbers when territory was really a big thing. It wasn't about so much having a million of one patch of a dominant, but it was about making it look that way. They were there to basically be good PR and sometimes be a deflector from bad PR.
Right.
They had a lot of good purposes, a lot of purposes that I don't quite understand. So this will be the first time of one of those topics where I'm here to learn just as much as everybody else is, and I have some insight on support clubs. But I'm one of those guys, and one of those brothers that I really look at support clubs on the way they used to be treated, and the society has changed so much that um, you're just not going to control. And I'll say it this way: control people how they were controlled back then.
Right.
Support clubs don't typically do um, like they do now. I mean, there's more of a you're your own thing. Be careful. You still support us. You still are a reflection on us, but you're not as, I would say, as liable to your participation as a supporter to the 1% diamond as you were back then, as compared to now. Does that sound make
Right.
sense?
It does, but it's also and I get where you're going with that. I see running around a lot of places, right? The thing I figured out is that support clubs move different and are, for lack of a better way to put it, manage different. They move and get managed differently based on geography. You know, like on the West Coast, it looks like one thing. On the East Coast, it looks like something else. New York looks like this, but Florida looks like that. You know, Missouri moves like this for sure. But then Texas, they got a whole other thing going on. And people wondering, what the hell is he talking about? And let me illuminate a little bit. And we're not speaking about anybody specifically, but like, so back in the day, with my first club, because my first club was a little weird in the sense that we were a council club, which is different than a support club necessarily. Yeah, all right, let me break that down because that just sounds like Chinese to a whole bunch of folks that don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so a support club, like Shaggy just said, like Archbishop just said, that's a club that supports the dominant. We'll get into that later, what that means. But a council club means you're a club. Let's say you got 10 chapters in different parts of the country. You got 10 different dominants in different parts of the country that you deal with everywhere. So for, we'll call it political reasons, you cannot be a support club for your club's purposes. You've elected to not be a support club to anybody because your brothers in this state have a different relationship with the dominant than they do in another state because of who's the boss, so to speak, right? So you're in the council. That means that you've been approved, you've been allowed to be there, you can do your thing, you're going to stay in your lane, you know, you can do your thing, but you're not a legit support club. So you're there, you're a council club. So back in the day, my club was a club that was in the council. We were not a support club, but we had relationships with the dominant in that area of that first chapter. Now, I was concerned with expanding at some point. So we put a chapter in a completely different location, had a different dominant in that area. So we had to have a relationship with the dominant that was in that area without being a support club to that particular dominant. But what we learned is that the support clubs, if the dominant had an issue, now this is back then, and I'm speaking about a specific circumstance, a long time ago, different geography. But in one area, support clubs, if the dominant had a problem, damn it, then so did the support club. If they had an argument with somebody, then so did the support club. And matter of fact, the support club might have been ready to argue about that point before the dominant was. And in some cases, Shaggy, you know who I'm talking about. In some cases, the support club was the scariest thing that you didn't want to see the support club.
And it was
Right?
well documented too. I mean, there's articles out there, and there's the DOJ shit and the DOD stuff, and all. I mean, all the deals that come out there, and that particular organization we were talking about earlier was topping the list every time.
Oh yeah. And they to this day, that particular group does not wear a diamond. But don't like what's that Billy D. Williams just say? Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Them cats was the ones to watch out for because they was getting it in on a regular. Now, that's the one extreme, right? Where you got a group like we're talking about. And hey, they're still in the area. We chop it up and fuck with them all the time. They good bunch of guys. As long as, you know, they don't find themselves in a position whereas they feel like they got a problem, right? And but having said that, that's the one extreme. The other extreme, like I know I've seen on so many occasions, the support club is, hey, we want y'all. We're telling y'all are good to go. In some cases, a dominant has actually created a support club for purposes of saying the next guys that come to our club, we want them vetted. We want to make sure that they are who they say they are. We don't want any headaches. We want to keep everything going smooth like it is. So we've got a support club that you can start there, sort of like minor leagues versus major leagues. You can start in the minors, get familiar with how everything works, learn the rules of the MC set. And when it's time, you can step up. We actually say that you can step up and come to the dominant, but you got to spend some time there first. And in fact, with certain clubs and certain areas, you have to be with a support club before you can even think about coming to the big boys, right? That's the thing. So,
Right.
So there's that. And I know we've all seen that. So the opposite. By the way, one last thing on that subject. So we talked about what it looks like if the dominant's got a problem, they got a problem, and they're gonna get it in. Opposite extreme is, hey, we got a problem. That's our business. You men worry about your business. We'll take care of that. However, you got a problem especially with another dominant. That ain't your business. We'll take care of that. If we told you to be here and you're here because we said you're here, that ain't nobody else's business. Somebody's got a problem with that. We'll address that. So, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff in between. But what we just gave you was, for those of y'all listening, we just gave you the far right, far left of how this stuff works. But when it comes to support clubs, I guess, what would you say, Archbishop? What's the best thing about a support club? Specifically, why would somebody even want to be in a support club?
Well, you think a lot of them go to support clubs for actually different reasons. One is so they can be close to the dominant, but not actually be a dominant. You know what I mean? They get to hang around and do everything that the dominant does, but they don't have to deal with the responsibility of being a dominant. Then you have some that's, like they have certain areas where if you're a new club coming in, if you under so many years, of being in existence, whatever that you have to fall up under a dominant club, in order to be able to wear your cuts at all. You know what I mean? A lot of times they did that just simply because it wasn't because the dominant wanted all these support clubs. That wasn't the case. The thing was that you had all these mom and pop clubs that was popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
And that was your way of being able to be there to be like, no, this ain't going on, and yeah, we allow this and whatever, because you have now on the 99 side, you have like coalition.
Yeah.
And some of them have guidelines like you had to be a club within so many years. You know what I mean? You had to had a club in another chapter in another state, stuff like that. But then you have some though that this is like brand new clubs. They just slip in. So This was a way to keep them from doing that. You know what I mean? Being able to, you basically flooding the market with all these different clubs, and and half of them really wasn't doing anything anyway. They were just showing up at parties or whatever. And that's the only time you seen them anyway.
Right.
So it was a good way of kind of trimming the fat, so to speak, to keep all these clubs from coming in. But even with your support clubs, like you said, you have some really good support clubs, and then you have some that just there. That's a better way for me to say it without actually saying what I want to say. They just there.
Right.
They're not really, when they first come in, you may see 10, 15, 20 of them, but then when they come to visit you, you only see 3, 4 of them. You know what I mean? You got 1,001 excuses as to why they're not there. You know what I mean? Or you got something going on and you only see 3 or 4 of them, but you know that they got 20 on deck. Okay, where they at? You know what I mean? So a lot of they give you that expectation that they're going to be there and they're going to actually support and do the right things and do what you ask them to do. But that's really not what goes on all the time.
That's like it's like the anniversary PO. They got the anniversary PO is that PO who wears, she's got a property patch and the whole thing. And you might have 12 months out of the year where you know that there was a person with that name that's a property. And but come the anniversary, she gonna be there front and center, having a good time, doing her thing. Look at me, look at me. I mean, she turned up until the next day when you ain't gonna see her ass until the next anniversary, or even somebody else's anniversary where she gonna show up in rare form, right? But and we tease about anniversary POs, but there's anniversary doggone support clubs too. Now, again, geography, you know,
You
amongst
guys bite off into a topic like that. That's a whole like on the black side, like and
moves a
from
little different.
a lot of the guys you guys know that I know over there, we talk about the PO thing, and it cracks me up. It just tickles me like an anniversary PO. Man, I learned so much new terminology. Like
That's just
the
anniversary
our
PO.
nationals, our POs
Hold on one second,
are
Hollywood.
one PO. Period. That's it. We don't want to deal with all the other bullshit. We're having enough trouble with the one. And if she gets labeled anniversary PO and she's your old lady,
Right.
that bitch ain't showing up to the next national. She ain't run off at the one. Cause that means she causing problems where everybody's like, hey man, check this out, brother.
Right on.
Get
Hey,
this
look.
out of here. We're gonna make her a party favor and then beat you up too.
Hey, hang on one
I couldn't
second.
help that.
Hey, no, I'm with you. Hang on one second. Hey, we just got a call in. Hollywood, thank you for joining us here on the Big BoneYard tonight. How you feeling, brother? Hello? Yeah, well, we got a call in. I don't know where. Let me see if I can get us on there. We got a call from Hollywood from Insane Throttle. And for some freaking reason, stand by 1 second. Let's see what's going on. Doggone, all right. I see he's saying he's here. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can figure it out. Let me see if I can figure it out. Let's see if we can get Hollywood back on the phone here. Hey, hold on. You there? Wait. Wait a minute. Stand by 1 second. Let's see if we can get him on here. Here we go with more technical difficulties. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. I think
The anticipation is killing me.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, are you there, Hollywood?
Hear what you gotta say.
What up?
Hollywood.
How are you doing? I'm trying to do this. How are you? I'm trying to start my club.
Okay, hey.
How many times we gotta tell you quit calling in drunk and that 24 shit in your system all the time? God damn.
It's some guy from Afghanistan says he wants to start a club. He wants 2 chapters. He wants one in Missouri. He wants another one in Florida. He's on the phone. His name is Hollywood. Hollywood. Are you there, Hollywood?
Oh man, I just had to call in and say congrats on 1,000, man.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. So
congratulations.
Man, thank you so much. So for those of y'all who don't know, as Hollywood just announced, we here at the Big BoneYard are humbled and pleased, and we appreciate all the support very much. We've reached 1,000 subscribers, so we're gonna keep doing it, and hopefully we'll hit 2,000, man. But thank you for the congrats, man. We appreciate it. And
no problem, man. You get back to work. I was just calling in to say, hey, man, that was kick ass. 1,000. Now it's on to 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Man, thank you, man. We appreciate it, man, and we appreciate you giving us time to be on the show. Bishop, tell him, man. Tell him.
Yeah. I enjoyed it last week. We had a good topic.
From out west tonight.
Say again.
I got a stripper from out west coming on tonight, so it'll be fun. But you guys,
I've been watching her, and that is she knows an awful lot. And what I would say is, my opinion, not the opinion of anybody else's, but that is what I would define as pillow talk too much.
Ooh. Yo, that just
Oh,
got
come
juicy.
on.
Hey, go back in the kitchen. You got sandwiches to make. Why are you
Hey,
speaking?
wait a minute. Did I just hear China Doll in the background?
Yes, you did.
I heard China
Yeah.
Doll.
You did.
Hey, China Doll. Look.
I wanted to say congratulations, keep those subscribers going.
Man, China Doll, that's what's up. Hey, look, don't tell Hollywood when we talked about, you know, that's
Download it. Download. All right, guys, have a good one. I'm
Right
still
on.
watching.
All right, man. Good looking, brother. Good to hear from you.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, that's what's up. That was that's Hollywood from Insane Throttle, which you seen me and Archbishop over there for a little bit. But so let me ask you this, Shaggy, what's a good example of a bad version of, and I know Archbishop touched on a little something, but what is a poor or bad or just fucked up version of a support club look like?
Well, I'm kind of glad you asked the question just like that, because you were giving a description of a national 1% club who has a national support club, and that or let me back up. You have a national club, 99 Club, who's considered a support club or affiliate club, or there's like several different names. I mean, it's basically a support club, and they got chapters in all 50 states. Will say, well, we know that original mother chapter of that club, where they started supporting that mother chapter AOs, and for those who don't know, AO is area of operations for that diamond or territory, and they're rocking that I support my local yada yada yada. And the one that I thought was the biggest shit show in my entire life, and it was the very confusing. I just absolutely did not understand when the big dominant in the area in which I was in showed up. What I saw this club show up with all their chapters, and every chapter that was out of that state that wasn't a part of that state that I was in, that was rocking that I support that diamond patch. Every chapter outside of that state that was in a different club, 1% clubs AO, was rocking their 1% diamond. So there was probably every 1% I support patch on that club, that particular club. So I walked up to the local diamond that was there, and we got to, chewing the fat a little bit. And I said, man, I'm from this area of the country, and this is kind of what we see. And what I've seen here is very confusing to me, because in my area where I live, dealing with the clubs I deal with, we probably would have met these jokers at the Mississippi River, and they wouldn't have crossed it, because that's how serious things back then were here. You your club supported one club, and if you're a national club, that national club supported one club. And here I was at this national event that I was invited to, and what I seen was several chapters, and they're all wearing support clubs of other clubs instead of where this national was held.
Yeah, and that's I got all right. So you just for those of us that are in the know, and a lot of the viewers, we know how this stuff works. I guess the political technical version of my inquiry would be, what the fuck? Really? So you're saying it's one club, but they got support of umpteen different clubs because they okay.
They are and actually I think they've reached international status some years ago, and I'm not real sure, but we'll just say that this club likes to climb ladders and jump in infernos, and the thing with them was, to me, they not to be disrespectful or sound disrespectful to that club, but
yeah,
there are first responders type thing, right? And so I felt that it was still confusing because when you're in this life and you start off in this life, and you're given a roadmap of how to live it, and you're given the protocols, and you're given the unwritten rules, and you learn your bylaws, and you learn how this works in your AO, and then you go to another club's AO, and you see that things aren't the same. But when it came to wearing that support patch or wearing even support shirt, can be just as detrimental,
Yeah,
on how you conduct yourself in another club's
we're going to
AO.
talk about
Because
that in a minute for
right,
sure. But no, but
but
go
the
ahead.
thing is these guys that are wearing these other club support patches, they're not in the know or aware of the dislike they made that support patch and that other support patch in their club, how them two clubs just don't exactly, sit down and have drinks together and talk about, politics.
Okay, so let me ask you this right quick. Because look, this don't happen often, but you straight threw me for a loop on that one, man. So this club, which you said has grown to international prominence, correct?
I believe they have, yeah.
Okay,
I believe they have, yeah.
and that club. Okay, I gotta ask. You said first responders. Is this a cop club or just first responders?
First responders. I don't believe they have cops in their club.
Okay. And look, this, for those y'all watching, this is me just being like real confused on like,
How do you think I felt? Shit, I'm like, this
yeah,
is
that's
the first.
yeah, that threw me for a loop. Bishop, you ever heard of this?
No, I hadn't either. That's why I was kind of tuning in too. Like, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
had
guess.
never heard of it.
Hey, look, for those of y'all watching, man, look, we gonna learn some stuff the same way y'all are. And Shaggy just dropped some. Hey, he hipped us to something right there. I don't even know how that would work, to be real honest with you. But I mean,
Well,
clearly
I did a little
somebody's doing it.
research on it. I did some research on it, and um, the problem that I've always had with support clubs. Now, this is Shaggy speaking, not Shaggy out. That the perceive and the perception and yada yada yada. This is just because I came up with support clubs really weren't that big of a thing, and they were kind of just for like the top, top four, top five clubs type thing. Not now that everybody's got one, even all these MC, they have like the Family Dollar Tree, support club, shit like that. This particular club, um, I guess I don't know if it was respect because they're first responders or what it was.
That could be. That
When
could
I
be.
asked that diamond, now I was in my former club when this happened. This was probably 8-10 years ago,
Mhm.
and I haven't been out to that particular club's national since then. But I could not believe that I seen support clubs from Florida clubs, support clubs from Georgia clubs, support clubs all the way to New York and Massachusetts,
Yeah.
support clubs out to California, Alaska, Hawaii, and then everything in between.
Yeah.
And it was odd to me because I had never seen that before, and it's the only club since then that I can refer to that did this, and it seemed fine. And it's not that it didn't seem fine to me; it seemed odd because one of the things that I learned in my former club when I was out, running and gunning and starting chapters and learning politics and becoming a leader and all that shit like that. That the first thing when I sat down with these dominants to tell them what my plan was in their area as being a new person moving in, the first thing they would say to me is, um, you know, your club supports another club in another AO. You're not going to be here. Period.
Right. I tell you. So speaking for myself, in my former life, my former club, and this was in a part of Florida that was at the time semi untapped, unregulated as far as the way the set works. So in my position, I was the what do you call it? The liaison for the council that was there, and I had my own AO, and the The diamonds handled diamond shit. Everything else fell to me. And if a certain club, I was I don't know, the gatekeeper, so to speak, I guess. I figured out who needed to go where, if that makes sense. And one of the things that was just business as usual, if somebody showed up with a certain support patch on from some other place that wasn't going to fly here, I'd let them know. It typically wasn't a whole lot of stuff with it. It was like, hey, look, here's what time it is here where we are. Most listened. For the ones that didn't, they ceased to exist. I'll say it that way. They didn't make it past, whatever. But yeah, man, so that kind of blew my mind. You made me forget all about what I was going to say. I'll tell you what, in regard to support patches, I wanted to clarify that ordinarily, as it comes to a club that's in the council, like we were talking about a minute ago, council club, them cats don't wear any support patch at all because they're in 10 different places with 10 different dominants, and to avoid confusion and all like that, they don't do like what Shaggy was just talking about, because there's some headaches to go along with that. I gotta believe, and I want to hear from some of the support club members. We have a lot of support club folks that are watching us tonight that are making comments. So look, y'all don't be shy. There's a phone number right there. It's 310-870-8994. Y'all call in and give us your 2 cents. We'd love to hear from you, what y'all think about that, what your situation is, and how you move or whatever. Within reason. We don't need to talk about stuff we don't need to talk about, but y'all chime in, give us your 2 cents worth. But yeah, man, that's some amazing stuff right there. So let me ask you, Archbishop, the thing. So we were talking about, I guess the left and the right, the good and the bad. What's the best version of a support club that you've seen? Like what's a support club? You don't gotta say who it is if you don't want, but tell me about a support club you think, man, these cats used to get it in, they used to get down. We love the way they move. Like tell us about that club. What did they do and stuff?
There was a support club that I bought in back I'm thinking maybe 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they were mixed up. You had female, male, both in the club or whatever, and they were deep. It was probably about 50 of them. But they all stood together, no matter what. They was always together. So when I brought them in as a support club, before then they were just riding around in little t-shirts, doing little community stuff around, and bike drives and book drives and stuff like that. And they wanted to finally come over and actually have a patch and be able to ride.
Right.
And I mean, as a support club. Now that support club, every single event that I had going on, they all showed up. Everybody showed up. But not only did they show up, but they also, they called all the way up until that time, wanting to know, what can I do? Can I do this? Can I participate in this? Can I do this? We used to do a thing every Thanksgiving in Ohio, where we took that one day out, and it was all our support clubs got together along with us, and we did like a Thanksgiving dinner for all the homeless and the needy that was in that area. And we reached out to the Salvation Army and Department of Human Services and all that stuff to let them know that this is what we were doing. And so people would come in, and we would have dinner for everybody. But if you go on the other side of the building, we had food, non-perishable items, produce, milk, everything you think of on that side. You go on the other side, we had coats, blankets, gift bags with toiletries and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you just walk from one section to the next and picked up everything that you needed, and then what was left over, we donated it out. But that support club there would jump in, and not only would they jump in and do their end, But then they come in, they was buying gifts and buying extra stuff. This was stuff that they actually wanted to do. You know what I mean? And they actually did more than what we was even talking about doing.
Yeah.
But even with that, in every situation that was coming on, let's just go past the event stuff. Anything that went on, they were all coming. If you made
Yeah.
one phone call to one person, the whole clan showing up.
That's
And it
what's
wasn't,
up.
like I said, it wasn't no free food. They were all coming.
Damn right. Look, and that's what a good support club looks like. So if you're listening, you're a part of a support club or considering becoming a part of a support club. It's about that, because we say all the time, take care of the community takes care of you. I'll give you all a couple of real quick examples of that. But one of the times was, so in my club, a couple of years ago, we were doing a thing every year. Now folks talk about Juneteenth, and which is fine for sure. Juneteenth is the nationally recognized celebration of when the slaves, the last slave outpost, was advised that, hey, y'all ain't slaves no more, right? And that was in Texas. But on the way to Texas, they stopped a lot of places, including Florida. So May the 22nd, I believe it is when that happened in Florida. And folks in Florida used to call it Emancipation Day, Freedom Day. They called it by a few different names. So here in Florida, my club was recognizing that, and we did what we called unity in the community. And that was where we said, let's watch out for the community. So we made a bunch of food, and we had face painting and music and dancing, and we made a bunch of food, and we was making sure that folks could eat, because our chapters a lot of times are in places where the community needs us. So we're there for the community. So we was feeding folks, and little kids came through and said, oh, my grandmother is, she's sick and shut in, can't get out of the house. Hey, no problem. The support clubs got on motorcycles, trucks, cars, and was bringing food out to these folks that couldn't get to where we were. The support clubs did that. Then we had folks like little kids who didn't, some kids was lost and didn't know who my mom. No problem. Let's point you in the right direction. We was feeding folks and getting folks clothes and face painting. It was I'll tell you about that later. Face painting for the little kids. It was an event. And of course, well, like happens, while we're doing all this good stuff for the community, and this was a whole entire weekend worth of stuff we're doing, the police, not the regular folks, regular cops who know who we are and how we get down, but a couple of new cops, they come out there and they wanted to bust up the thing, and hey, that tire's touching the curb, and what are you guys doing? And you don't have a permit to feed people and all this old kind of stuff. And that didn't go well. Well, an argument ensued advising these fellas that this is private property and they don't have the right to do this. And in the process of that, I remember like yesterday, I said to the one support club member, I said, hey, I said, you got your cell phone? He said, yeah. I said, man, I said, get this on camera. And that guy turned around and he said to all the support clubs, hey, get your camera, get this. And these guys started recording this. Long story short, not only was it recorded with those particular officers being advised to get in the wind, their bosses came out and reprimanded them for coming out here trying to start some trouble. And the support clubs were on top of this thing from the second I said, hey, get a camera. They documented everything. The police, and this is a fact, it's documented. The police, man, when I tell you they bust a 180 so hard and so fast and so quick, the lawyer said, man, we can't do nothing about this because they corrected themselves with a quickness. Y'all had all that video. And it was more than just video, but the support clubs were on top of it. Not only did they help feed our whole entire, the community that we were in and help out in every single way that they could, but they also affected from a litigious or from a legal standpoint, they helped to protect the organization, and we appreciated it. And good support clubs, they move like that, so that's the thing that I see, and I definitely appreciate that. And we're hearing from a lot of folks. So, hey, if you're listening if y'all are watching us tonight, don't be shy. Your phone number again, 310-870-8994. Call in if you got to share your 2 cents worth. We got a lot of folks that are giving us shout outs and everything on Hidden 1000. There was one person, I got to correct this. I think Stevie said 10,000 viewers by January. Stevie, as much as we appreciate the love and the encouragement, Stevie, we are over, what is it, 22,000 right now? Viewers wise, we're at 22,000 or something like that. But don't get me wrong. Keep watching. But yeah, we've got a lot more than 10,000 viewers. We're more than double that. We have, thank God, we hit that 1,000 threshold, and that was just a personal goal that me and Archbishop have been babbling about for a while now. So we hit that, and thank you. Keep watching. So, by the way, if you are watching, we got a bunch of folks watching right now. It's like 60, 70 folks watching, almost 70 people watching. Hit the like button because it's only like 10 likes on this joint. So hit the like button. Everybody stop what you're doing. Hit the like button. Come back. And Archbishop's going to lie to you all about some stuff. Or it might be Shaggy because he's kind of funny acting too. But, but anyway, so back to the support clubs. So how long, like Shaggy, if you was to say like a rule, right? So support club, I'm talking from the inception of it. If a guy's thinking, man, I'm thinking about starting, and I know that's a whole loaded question, but you're talking to somebody, they say, hey, Uncle Shaggy, I'm thinking about starting a support club for Invaders MC. Man, what do I need to do? What are you going to say to that dude?
Well, again, I'll say this. This is my opinion, my perception. I don't want others to perceive that I'm speaking for my club because I surely am not.
Yes, sir.
I will say that any club that wants to be a support club, in my opinion, more power to you. Good luck with that type of thing. I'm not a fan of support clubs. The support clubs we have in my own club, it's taken me a little bit because I'm a firm believer. You know, you learn in phases in clubs, and you know you could be in club forever, but you should still be learning every day. And one of the things that always turned me off about support clubs was one, a lot of times they think they're the club they're supporting, and they're not. And so if you're going to be in a support club, first and foremost, you need to know what the hell you signed up for. You need to sit down with that support club, or that club you're wanting to support, and say, look, we as a whole have decided this is our vision, mission. This is what we want to do. This is how we want to support you. This is all out of respect for you. This isn't and it's a key point right here. This isn't about us just trying to have a patch here and us being able to fly. We really do support you. Like there's a lot of clubs out there, and this isn't me just saying this. This is a fact. This is said across INCOM meetings, said across NCOC meetings, said across all these great things that I've been fortunate enough to do, and I listen and pay attention. A lot of clubs don't have a problem paying extra coin or throwing on a support patch just so they can be there, so they can, in my opinion, circumvent earning their way and doing the right thing to be in an area. If somebody came to me and said they want to be a support club, I believe in the old mentality I was taught by the Vietnam era. You're going to be my support club. Guess what? You're going to do what I tell you to do. You're going to conduct yourself how I tell you to conduct yourself. You're going to be a part of my club's life as much as we are a part of yours. You will have loyalty only to us and us alone. And you will not speak for the club in any way, shape, or form. You will do the things that as a supporter should do. You know, a supporter can be defined under a great many things. Think of a father supporting his family. Think about the employees of a corporation working hard to support that company to keep it going. You have to give and give and give, and a lot of times there's no get back. And you can beat your drum all you want to. Once you sign, as they say in the day back in the day, once you sign that note and you signed your life away to the devil, you're going to pay for every single thing that you wanted to do. And that's the way I was taught about sport clubs. Um, I've never been in a sport club before. The guys that I've met are genuinely, down for it. But how support clubs were conducted back then and how they're conducted now, that's where I'm learning things. Like, I believe in what I just said. You sign your soul to the devil, guess what? You're always paying the piper, right? In my opinion. Well, today's day and age, there's times where I'm with my boss, and he helped with our support club here, and he's always great with stuff like that, and he's great with explaining it to me, because we're sitting around, I'm going, hey man, why ain't they here for this? Why ain't they doing this? Why? And he explained to me where I can understand it. But then I look at him and go, but I wasn't taught that a long time ago. And he goes, I know what you were taught a long time ago. I was taught that too. Things change, Shaggy. Get with the fucking program. I'm like,
Yeah.
There's a program?
Okay. Got to catch up. I'll tell you like this. One of the things that this is a me thing, as it relates to support clubs. I always thought that a support club, and I'll tell y'all a little thing. So I always thought a support club is, especially when you have a support club chapter in a place where the dominant is not. That support club, in my opinion, is supposed to be, you heard me say, in my opinion, that support club is there instead or forstead of the dominant. So what I mean by that is this. So I was in Tallahassee, Florida, a lot of years ago, and the support club ran into someone who the dominant was not in love with. And I saw a support club getting along with real well the dominant that was in that area. I was confused. I'm like, how can that be? And the then president, not now, but the guy that was the president of the support club said, oh, well, the dominant's not here, so don't matter. We do what we want to do, and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, wow. I was shocked and amazed. I thought, based on what he said, maybe I had it wrong. Sometime later, as I spoke with the dominant, they advised me, no, not only did I have it right, that chapter president had it wrong. That ain't the way it gets down. It don't mean that now, and I want to clarify, that did not mean that support club was supposed to be beefing with this, that, and the other thing with that other club. Didn't mean that. Just meant that, hey, you can, hey, how you doing? But you ain't supposed to be kissing them on the mouth and carrying on and all like that. This is different. These are these nuances that come on the set. So, and again, and by the way, let me say this. So some of y'all can go, oh my gosh, he said this. So here's the thing: on the black side and the white side, there's certain things that are a little bit different. Some stuff is very much the same. A lot of stuff is very much the same, but there are some differences. So one of the differences is on the black side, if there's a support club who comes into has some encounter with a completely different dominant that maybe your dominant is not best buddies with, that's all well, fine, and good. That does not suggest that you need to go to war and all this other kind of stuff. But it don't mean you need to be hanging out at their clubhouse trying to party, and have a good time because y'all is best buddies now. It ain't that neither. These are those nuances that we're talking about. But I can tell you like this, my way, this is just here I go. This is a me thing. Me thing says that if my dominant ain't good with you, I'm not good with you. I'm not trying to get into nothing. I'm saying if I'm a support club, I'm not trying to argue and fight with you, but I'm not trying to hang out with you neither. I know which side my bread is buttered on. That's just my little take on that little part of it, like that.
That's how,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
That's how it should be, though. It's a little small word that's about this long, but it means this much, and that's called loyalty. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you loyal to your dominant. Now you doing that, bouncing around, you know what I mean, grinning up in somebody's face and shit, doing the goddamn Bojangle dance and shit. That's bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, it's bullshit.
That
And
part.
that's, you know, the biggest thing dealing with these support clubs. I'd have sat here for a couple minutes and I'd have listened to everything, and I done got this. This is something that needs to be told. So I'm just gonna spit it out. These support clubs need to learn that we are not your equals. You
Goddamn right.
Okay, we do not share the same thing. When I tell you to move, you move. That's what that means. And we are not on your time. You on my time. I'm the one that made you here. Just like your parents used to say back in the day, I'm the one that made you. I'm the one that can break you. You know what I mean? So you need to learn that. A second thing about that is that a lot of these support clubs get away with what they get away with is because their dominant is not teaching them what they should be teaching them. They letting them run around and do what they want to do, and then these support clubs feel that we're equals, we're buddies. We can, you know, I can do the same thing they doing because I'm the support club. Okay, you running around doing that we're not even asking you to do. You know what I mean? Because you want to show face. You want to make people think that you bigger than these 99 clubs and all of that other stuff. Which a lot of that stuff comes down to education, and it's a lot of it is actually our fault because we're not actually teaching them. You expect them to know certain stuff, you know, and then when they mess up, the first thing they say is oh, I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then it falls back on you. So like I
Ignorance
said,
to the law is no excuse, though.
right. I mean, so even too often, like I said, like when we talk about good support clubs, bad support clubs, the ones in between. The ones that's bad is the ones that's not educated. Number
Right.
one, we chose not to teach, and we just assume that they know. Okay, well, if you assume that they know, these are the ones out here that actually start a lot of the wars that we have to go back and fend for later on. It's because they out here doing stuff that they know that they shouldn't be doing. Well, they feel that they doing it for the right reasons, but they're not. And they're not only putting their club in jeopardy, but they're putting everybody else in jeopardy. Because a lot of stuff that they're doing, they ain't running back letting us know what they're doing. They're doing it on the slick.
Ooh. Oh Lord,
So
that's what we call
needs to be
that's what we call the gospel. But keep preaching. I'm sorry.
So that's, you know, just sitting back throughout all these years and just watching how certain clubs move. Yeah, some of them move the way they're supposed to. You know what I mean? And then you have these ones that feel that they have to make a name for themselves and they got to go out and do this, that, and the third. We didn't ask you to do that. We can handle our own. We don't need you for that. You know what I mean?
Look at them like prospects. Don't go out there and be overzealous because all you got to do is get hemmed up and then get us hemmed up.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, if you want to go out and do outlaw shit, then be an outlaw. If not, then sit your ass down and let the pros do it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like you said, I don't got to stick my head up a butcher's ass and look at the T-bone. I just take his word for it.
Hey, hold on one second.
I don't know, man. You know, sometimes I like to pick the perfect T-bone. I mean, that prime cut, man. Hey, y'all go.
Hey, stop cussing for a second, Pastor Troy. That's our assistant chairman from our COC here just called in. And Pastor Troy, you know I don't be cussing and such, you know, but them guys they be acting up. Hey, Pastor Troy, thank you for joining us tonight on the Big BoneYard. We got myself, Big Bone 1%er, Archbishop 1%er, and Uncle Shaggy Doggone 1%er on the stage. Pastor Troy, what you got to say, brother?
Well, I tell you, you guys are speaking straight up truth about supports, and you know, I don't even know, you know, how much you guys know of my past and stuff, but being in a hang around the Border Patrol chapter across Wisconsin, and you know, it's I was raised with old school. What Archbishop said about loyalty is so key. It is so key because even me being in, you know, Warriors of Faith, you know, we got chapters throughout the U.S. and in Canada and in South America. You know, so founded in California and Washington, way on the other side of the United States. I'm here in Florida, and so that's where my loyalty lies. It was the same thing when I was in Wisconsin, but being a motorcycle ministry is completely different. We have where our loyalty lies, but we try to keep it neutral, if you know what I'm saying,
Right.
so that we can be effective in ministry.
Well, I'm glad you said something about neutrality, Pastor. What, Fred?
Troy.
What's his name? Troy, Pastor Troy. Because check it out, I was in a neutral club for 19 years, and that word neutrality. If you can't walk the line, talk the line, enforce the line. There's been times where I personally had to sit in big meetings and say, well, I'm in a neutral club. We're neutral. Well, if you ain't for such and such club, then fuck you. You're in our area. You'll do what we tell you to do. And you look at these guys going, well, we're a neutral club, and the ministries and I've always had a problem as I've grown in this lifestyle, and then decided to step up to the major leagues here, and as they say, I hate saying stepping up. I joined a motorcycle club that happened to be a 1% club, but my mind has never. I never looked at anything more than I live this lifestyle anyway. I've been educated very well. The one thing that always bothered me is the excuse to start a motorcycle club is to try to say, hey, I want to be a supporter of all 1%ers, and I want to pray for all 1%ers. That's the religious side, right? And then you got the military clubs that they all say, well, we all served in the same, put our boots in the same sand and did this, did that. And it goes back to the loyalty thing, right? I had a religious club come up to me about a year ago, and they said they had a war patch that said we pray for all 1%ers. And I walked up to that guy and I said, I said I'm a big name across the country, and I said I meet all kinds of religious clubs across the country, and I said I meet a lot of 1% clubs across the country. And I said, how do you think that's going to be shared with two clubs that don't sit down and have chow together? I said, you pray for all 1%ers? He says, well, yeah, I do. I said, don't pray for me. And he said, well, why not? I said, I have a mother. That's her job. I don't, that, and it was probably rude of me. And the way I looked at it, though, was it goes back to the loyalty thing. People got to understand about this serving one master thing. It's a factual thing. You can't pray for all 1%ers. You got to pray for the 1%ers that are in your area. Right. You know why? Once you start praying for their enemies, that's like us, Seabees and the Marines here on this panel. We'll put it to death. If you pray for our enemies, we're praying that they die a horrible death and at our hands, and then we come home to say we had victory. Right? That's the American way. That's that way of being competitive. Predator prey. Hunter gatherer, shit like that. We've gotten away from that. I ain't gonna say I got away from it because I'm a fucking wolf and I don't give a shit. I eat another wolf if I have to, and that's the way it's supposed to be. The loyalty is what makes that pack where it's at. And when you talk about these support clubs, right? These support clubs will come in and they'll try to be national, just like that example I give. And that is a very factual thing I just said. They only have loyalty in the areas to where they can fly. And a lot of religious clubs are that way, and a lot of military clubs are that way. But the military clubs and the religious clubs are supposed to be the two factions in clubs that should be 100% neutral because of the service.
No, look, that's what's up. That's a great way of looking at it. And again, Pastor Troy, I totally get where you're coming from. As a Christian, your knee-jerk reaction is to pray for everybody. But as a Republican, your thing is fuck everybody. I'm playing. But
that's conservative. That would be me.
Pastor Troy because he's a Republican. But look. But
no, I'm not.
But
I am. I ain't scared to say it.
But look, that's what the cool thing I love about this show is that
I want war and oil.
Right on. Hey, I wanted to do a couple of little things. I'm going to shout out real quick. One, hey, y'all keep hitting that like button. We appreciate it. We got a lot of folks watching. It's like 80 something folks watching. The number goes up and down, but we thank you for being here. Archbishop, one of the reasons I wanted to say this a little while ago, but I absolutely didn't want to interrupt you. Archbishop, you was dropping some gems a little early. I say this all the time when I'm talking about Archbishop. I'll be like, hey, Archbishop is going to drop some gems, and if you want to put some in your pocket, pick them up, keep them. But what you were saying a little while ago, one of the reasons I love the fact that you joined the Big BoneYard. You know, Shaggy, look, me and you've been rocking for a minute. Archbishop, me and you have known each other for a long time, but you got with the BoneYard earlier this year, and man, it's great. I'll tell you why what I'm babbling about. A minute ago, you pointed out, you said, hey, I'm going to say some things. And I guess, some folks might not like it, but you pointed out, hey, we're not the same. The truth of the matter is that when you say to yourself, well, 1%ers, support clubs, whomever, oh, we're all a part of the, yeah, we're all, we all get this two-wheel thing, sure, but we're not the same because the difference, and we get this question a lot, what's the difference between a 1%er and a MC or a SC or a da-da-da-da-da. So here's the short version to that. So if you ain't heard nothing else in this show, I mean, a lot of good stuff. I hope you're listening to all of it. But to answer this question, the difference between those of us that wear that jewelry and those of us that don't, we're interested in ready, willing, and able to do the sort of things for the support and the glory and the furtherance of our nations, our clubs and our nations, that you won't do, can't do, won't consider doing, or think that's crazy or offensive to do. Whereas we don't have a pause button, a stop button, a slow down button. We're going to get it in. It's what we do. That's how we're made up. I'm going to dispel another myth real quick. You say to yourself, well, why a support club versus a 1%er club? And both Shaggy and Archbishop have touched on this a little bit tonight. Here's the reason for that. I can say in my organization, speaking for myself, my my observation has been, we don't make 1%ers. We don't say to some guy, hey, come on over here and we're going to turn you into a 1%er and slap a diamond on you. Nah, we don't say nothing like that. What we do is, in practically every club that I've ever seen, there's one guy in that club, almost every club, there's one guy in that club who, if he has the opportunity to, he's already a 1%er. He just don't know it, or he's not with the right club. What we do is we identify who he is, and we tell him, here's home. Here's how we get down. And if this makes sense to you, and you make sense to us, which is also important, then maybe this side of the fence might be where you're supposed to be. Because most 1%ers don't just show up one day and say, where do I sign? It don't work like that. They've got something in them that says, I'm that type. Shaggy just said, I'm a wolf. We don't really concern ourselves with the opinions of sheep. I'll say that again. We're the wolves. We don't concern ourselves with the opinion of sheep, but we do have to herd them. So for that reason, we're mindful. We actually give a fuck because those are our sheep. We're supposed to guide you in the direction that you're supposed to be guided in. And if we do it properly, then everything goes smooth, cool, symbiotic, and copacetic, right? But that's my little piece. I don't want to get all on my damn soapbox or nothing like that. But again,
actually, I got a good one for you.
Yeah.
And this is really going to fit in good with the topic we're talking about, the differences between the white side and the black side with sport clubs.
Racist.
Race. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I got my white privilege card here somewhere. Oh, shit. It's in my work boots right there.
I got it. You left it here last time.
If you're gonna set me up, I don't give a shit, man. If people hate me, I'm cool with that. They love me, it's even better. But the thing is, I actually am one of those guys that ain't gonna say something unless I've taken the time to be a part of it. And a member of your guys' organization, and I are real close friends. And here in Missouri, a bunch of us in the leadership type position decided to get together, not to incorporate the clubs, but just trying to grow the COC, break down some of them fences, and at least have the clubs talk. Like I've
Yeah.
talked many times with you and Black Dragon and others that, you know, it was just like 7, 8, 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, when I learned that there were actually black motorcycle clubs. And this is 22-year career I got going on here, right? So I
Mhm.
mean, that's how small the white community was for so long, and so was the black community. We rarely interacted except for the big states like California, New York, Florida. Mississippi, not so much. Uh, Missouri here, not so much. Um, you know, in the Midwest type thing. Well, so back to what I was saying, we got together and we would go to me and the president of another diamond club. We went to a couple of these the black club parties, and we met up with you guys' organization. They took us over, showed us a great time. There's a couple things I want to say about the black side support clubs and the black side set period. One, when they have fucking parties, you can't hardly get in the fucking parking lot. The damn thing is packed. Okay, that's
Facts.
one.
That's a fact.
Two, when you're with the the dominant of the black side, and he pretty much is immediately greeted. I mean, the goddamn hall is emptying out. It's like there's a camera. Big guys here, big brothers here. I guess you guys get called a lot, and so I mean, there is a line. I hate that shit now. I mean, geez, it took that night. It took me 2 hours to get inside the hall. But as this diamond I'm with on the black side is getting respect paid to him and handshakes and hugs. Um, he says, "Hey, you see this white boy here? These two white boys here with me? These crazy white boys are with me, and you will treat them as if you would treat me." Next thing I know, there's a goddamn line in front of me that was just as long as in front of him. And then after all the clubs and the support clubs did their greeting stuff like that. So I'll stop right there to say on the white side, usually it's the president or a representative. You don't send your whole crew over there. It's like 9 times out of 10, when the diamond shows up to a support club's event or they show up to another club's event, they're making an appearance or there's a kinship between the two clubs. We're going to run into each other in this party. It's a small building. But on back to y'all's side, now I say all these patch members are coming up, and next thing I know, there's a line of fucking women because they're paying their respects now. I'm going to tell you something right now. My wife is not shaking a one of your hands or saying hi to a single one of you unless A, she knows you, and B, I say it's okay. Now, it may sound chauvinist to some people, but um, in the white side, if you guys do a little history check, most wars between clubs were started by women over a woman, not by women, but over a woman, right? So um, we keep them guarded. They're considered our guests. We're responsible for them. So I literally smelt like I just left the strip club because these women, some of them wear some very exotic, very loud perfumes. I get home and the first word out of my mouth to my wife is, "I've been out with this brother and this brother." I'm sure this brother on the white side is explaining the same thing to his wife right now. This is how things are done on the black side. So 30 days later, fast forward, I take my wife with me just to show her, and she witnessed this long line. And then I will get to the best part of it is there. I'm looking at all these clubs in this event you guys have put on. I've seen I think there was like 2 or 3 1% clubs there. And I couldn't count all the support clubs y'all had over there. Everybody was partying, having a good time. There was no bullshit. I mean, it was a great time. And I always say that, and you get more than 2 or 3 1% clubs on the white side in the room, and especially their support clubs if they have them, something's going to happen. somebody's not going to look at somebody right or say something right. Now the place is in flames, and motherfuckers are get called for disrespect and fights. I did not see. It blew my mind. So I left there with that little bit of an insight,
I'll
and
share
I
this
went
with
back
you.
to our side.
Yeah.
At our COC, I put this kind of same thing out: is, hey man, when it's party time, these guys have figured it out. Yeah, shit's going to happen at a party, but what the fuck are we doing over here?
I'll tell you, man, and I'm glad you said that because we touched on it a little bit, but we didn't, get all into it. But so 2 things. One, I'm glad you had a great time. The other thing is like this, is that, again, here I go with the geography again. Certain things are geographical, but the way it really, really works for the most part is like this. Because, see, on the white side, a patch member will have a PO. Sometimes on the black side, you might have more than one PO. That's not an
You
uncommon
guys
thing.
way overachieved. You guys are gluttons for punishment.
It depends on who you're talking about. But, I've seen brothers that have 1 PO. I've seen brothers that got 20 POs. But here's the thing. Those POs, here's the big difference. On the black side, there might be a female who loves the set, the motorcycle environment. She loves to get together. She likes to ride a motorcycle. Maybe she don't even ride a motorcycle, but she likes the way that gets down. She wants to be a part of that. And everybody knows, or for those of y'all that don't know, the pinnacle, fuck what you heard. And hey, Pastor Troy, they made me cuss. So, because I think Pastor Troy's still with us. But anyway, fuck what you heard. The pinnacle for a lot of women on the set is not actually to ride her own motorcycle and show up to a party or two. It's to have that patch on her back that says she's a part of a certain organization. She's not a member, she's a guest, but she's an honored guest, right? And so having said
And we
that,
absolutely on the white side do not think that way at all. I mean,
right.
absolutely.
Right.
No, that's why I said.
I mean, you guys just, my dad always taught me to elevate my wife and you elevate your family, right?
Right.
You just did on that side to elevate, and we're like,
again, now there's some geographical stuff to
he
do.
just
It
told his eyes.
also depends on where you are as to what we're talking about. But I'm giving you the general idea of it is like this. The pinnacle of a lot of women on this side is either and there are female MCs. They're well respected. We love them. Phoenix has been a perfect example of something like that, right? But there's also, don't get it fucked up, the pinnacle of a female on the black side is being a PO of a diamond club. Because first of all, there's very few, if any, POs that's not associated with a diamond. That's first thing. Diamonds are forever. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I can go on and on with all the little catchphrases about it, right? But they're going to be treated different. They can interact different. But also, somebody's PO is not going to go over, hey, how you doing, and da-da-da-da-da. If that's his old lady or his wife or whomever, maybe she's a representative of him, which is what basically every PO is. And she's going to, hey, how you doing? Glad to see you, with a hug, maybe a kiss. If she knows you, maybe a kiss on the cheek and all like that. But that's different than being somebody's wife. And look, her coming over and greeting you is not the same thing as her being like, let's go in the back room and let's get it in right quick because so-and-so said. That ain't some shit that happens on the black side. She ain't going to try to break you off and give you some pussy or hey, Pastor Troy, I didn't even want to talk that way. But she's not trying to go, get bent over because she's a PO. That's not like a thing on the black side. Not just because you showed up, it's a different kind of a thing. But I mean, I get what you're coming from though, because some of the cats that I deal with on the white side, they understand how it is. It's different. Matter of fact, let me fuck y'all up right quick. So we talked about support clubs, but there's a different SC that we haven't even talked about at all tonight. Social clubs. Now, Shaggy,
I'll stop you there. I know nothing about them.
Right. Yeah. You heard the expression before.
I think we call them RCs maybe, or t-shirt clubs.
Well, no, RCs
No.
are a different thing. I know you know what an RC is, but I
Yeah,
know you
that's
also heard what social clubs are. In fact, let me shut the hell up for a minute. Archbishop, could you inform us about social clubs?
I don't even care for social clubs, for real, tell you the truth.
But you know what
Hey,
they
it's that clapping thing you do.
Right.
Hey, right on, man. What is a social club? I mean, is that the guys that go to the bar every weekend, have a couple drinks socially
Right.
together?
Yeah.
No, that's like
Look,
the
but you know
one.
what they are though.
They're not in an MC club. They're not in an RC club. They basically groupies for real. They
That
show
part.
up. They show up to parties and they wear little Skittle vests or whatever, and they bring their own
Armband.
alcohol,
They
their own
got an
little
armband. Don't forget that.
right. And they just that's what they are. They just there to be social. Like they're on the scene to just be social. That's it.
Right.
Wouldn't
But
that be considered watering down the scene? Just a question.
well,
Well, yeah,
look,
that's the problem we got now. It's been watered down so damn much. You know what I mean?
look, so what I was saying was my point about that was not so much that I don't agree with you, because I kind of do, but that's like that's a thing that showed up. You got social clubs, you got support clubs, which is not the same thing. I do not how you say it for uh so another disclaimer, I do not put social clubs and support clubs in the same realm at all. They're
No.
not the same thing. Support clubs are, in my opinion, are important. I think they're necessary. I appreciate support clubs. I think y'all get it in. Even though I said what I said a little while ago, I don't take that back. There's a difference between support clubs and dominance, right? But by the same token, there's a chasm of difference between a support club and a social club. Social club, in most cases, I've seen men in social clubs, but for the most part, these are women. They like to come on the set. They like to get around. They want to go to the parties, this, that, and the other thing. It's like if bitches was Meals on Wheels, social clubs would be the main course. You know what I mean? There's some guys like, hey, social clubs, that's free pussy. Some guys think like that. I'm
Yeah, but
not saying
isn't
one
that
way.
like getting the bottom of the trash can? I mean, if it's Meals on Wheels, I want the top plate. That's the one that's the hottest because it got put in there
Hey, I'm
last.
not dogging nobody. Man, look, Shaggy, you just fucked me up because I'm gonna hear about this later. I'm gonna have all kinds
You
of folks
probably
listen.
are,
It's Archbishop's fault. He made me say it. Yeah, they're trying to get it off me.
Look, on this
That's
side of the house here, we the I think I've seen the SC social club or whatever, but they're treated like RC. They're just there. Um, they're required to carry themselves a certain way. Like a lot of them don't think so, but they are. They don't show up to like you're explaining social clubs on the black side. Like they're there because they're groupie. Man, I don't want no fucking groupies. Uh, I don't want my opinion only. I don't. I'm still trying to. I'm a predator. I'm a wolf. I'm an alpha male. I'm a whatever you want. I'm not going to support anybody. If you can't be a man standing on your own 2 feet and be you, I'm not lessening down those that are in support clubs, but that's just how I feel about it. I came from a very dominant part of the military, working with dominant men. I was raised by a dominant man, and my dad was a man. He raised us boys to be men. Um, uh, I don't understand that mentality because I don't have that mentality. Our support clubs that support us, they're good people. They really and genuinely, truly want to support us, and they're absolutely great people, like you said. But I don't have that mentality. I don't understand it.
Right.
So when you get to talking about the other shit, hey, let's just as I say all the time, let's just add another something before the C.
Right.
RC, t-shirt club. It's just a way to wear a patch. It's just a way to try to fit in so you can get in, and it has nothing really to do. I would, if we're going to put like a pecking order on it, it's like you have your 1%ers, and then you have your support clubs who are trying to become 1%ers, Well, I would look now as an RC trying to become a three-piece patch MC member. Well, I guess the SCs are trying to become RC.
No. The SCs, for the most part, we'll hear about it later, but for the SCs, what I've noticed, and we don't do a lot of that where I am. I'm saying throughout the country, throughout America. I'm not even going to talk about Canada because they got them up there too. But the way I see it, SCs are literally just SCs. A lot of SCs are trying to get a boyfriend. That's it. I wish I could.
Oh, so the SCs are
SCs
women clubs then.
Hey,
Yeah.
Archbishop, am I wrong?
See, it's a lot of women in these clubs. Now you do have some dudes who walk around with these damn armbands on with things.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's some real gay shit. I gotta say.
Yeah, we need
Okay, so now I'm totally lost in this conversation. You done lost me now.
Okay.
Hey,
So
wait,
for the most part-
hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hey, Pastor Troy, these dudes is getting ready to cuss. So, and plus there's some folks that's trying to call in. I'm gonna let you go, but thank you for joining us tonight, man.
No, I ain't even about to cuss on this one.
No,
No.
go ahead.
Now you
Pastor
got these
Troy said he
SCs,
ain't
right?
listening. Go ahead.
No, they come to the parties and all that. You know what I mean? And they end up hooking up with with the bros. I mean, with the MCs, the dominants, whatever. You know what I mean? They just there. But there is a couple of social clubs that actually have dudes in them.
Yep.
You know what I
I
mean?
seen it.
You wearing a little armband just like the girls do, running around in there.
Yep.
Now you could easily go to another club, but these guys don't ride bikes either. They just come in the party.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like they have to be. It's like I don't know whether it's something like, okay, like I just can't come in here as just like a regular civilian. You know what I mean? I got something on, so it kind of makes me look like I'm official, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm just
right.
And people just kind of notice me as being in this social club. You know what I mean? Because I'm wearing the T-shirt or I got the little. Or they got the little cloth vest on or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the arm patch. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of bullshit. For real.
Yo, I'll tell you.
My MC OCD is about to like explode right now with some of his definitions. I'm like,
shit.
I mean, you guys are about to see a rocket just go right through the screen like the cartoon does.
Look.
And it'd be like Yosemite Sam leaving because his OCD just exploded.
Yo,
like
look,
I'm fucking blown. My mind blown here.
Look, let me tell you, the first time you ain't never seen it. I see it. Look, let me tell you, the first time I seen
our social clubs that we have are typically the mixed club, meaning women, husband, man. We call them mom and pop clubs.
Co-ed, yeah, mom and pop.
There's really not much prospecting time, but it's a little hazing, I guess you could say. But where you just let me finish soaking up what you said.
Let me tell you this. All right, so check it out. So, and you'll probably appreciate this. So, some folks that your club didn't necessarily have the greatest relationship with for the longest time. So, this is about 2005, 2006. I went to, there's a female club, not a social club, but a female club. They were not an MC, just a female club, female motorcycle club. They had a party. I go to the party. I'm with my with my original club. We go to this thing. They had, I kid you not, their wives, or excuse me, their husbands and boyfriends showed up with armbands on. These are white folks. Showed up, armbands on. Well, the dominant on the white side showed up. And I had just won a whole bunch of stuff, because they had a raffle and all like that. So I got broke off. I'm doing great. I'm like, I don't care what y'all do, right? But the dominant from the white side showed up and was like, hey, fella, what's that armband mean? He said, oh, that means I'm a property of. It said P.O. something.
This dude said he started out with I'm a property of.
The husbands and the boyfriends had on an armband, and some of them had on T-shirts too. Had an armband that said P.O. something something. I won't say the name of it, but property of the name of that female club. And then let me say it like I mean it. Them white boys like to lost their motherfucking minds. They said, "What the fuck is this shit here?" And they went through the process of removing those T-shirts, removing those T-shirts and those armbands, and they explained to the nice young ladies that their event was over and they better not never see that shit no more, and da 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 da, and some other things. And now I needed to, for disclaimer purposes, I need to point out I was cool because I had just got me all kinds of free shit from the raffle, so I was good. But I thought that shit was hilarious because I'm watching a bunch of grown ass men with armbands and all like this. Because I'm thinking to myself, that's some real bitch shit right there. I can't believe they did it, but
They
they did.
are bitches. They
That
are
part,
bitches.
yeah, I was amazed. But yeah, but that's just me. I'm like, hey, if you're a grown ass man and you trying to get in this in our world, understand that some of the stuff that you think, your sensibilities, your sensibilities, your I don't know, your millennial way of thinking or whatever, that's got no place here. This is a place. Let me tell you what the MC, what the real set is when it comes to the set, the real set, and when it comes to diamonds, real one percenters. This is a place where men are men and women are glad about it. You know,
And the social clubs apparently tuck their penis.
well, men that are in those, because the rest of them are all women. But look, like I always say, you ain't gonna see no man buns and skinny jeans running around on the fucking set. Not in real life. You know, that's some TV related, whatever the fuck. Yo, let me do this right quick for us, fellas. We got a question that came in, and matter of fact, hold on, where to go? My PO just said to take a look at this question. Okay, here you go. This is a question, little off the topic, little something, but it says, what do you guys think about women one percenters? I'm going to shut the fuck up. Archbishop, if you could address this for us, please, sir.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let me say it again because y'all missed the part where Archbishop,
you know what, man?
women one percenters, what do you think?
I seen this last week, man. Man, fuck it. That ain't even a comment, man. I mean,
Yo,
it's like, okay.
I swear.
I mean, from my understanding, that the one that they talking about, they in an area that ain't really been patrolled or whatever. So, you know, what I think about it, it is bullshit.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is. It's bullshit. If I seen it, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna take them. If I seen it, I'm taking it. I don't give a fuck who listening. It's mine. It is mine. I'm gonna take that shit right now. It's like you didn't just put this whole NC thing and then turn it upside down. You know what I mean? That's like having a female as the president of a men's club. You know what I mean? That shit just don't make sense. So I ain't fuck it.
I feel you. Well, look, see, the problem is, see, Archbishop, your ass is you're prejudiced, and so let's get somebody who really knows what they're talking about here. Shaggy, y'all got a lot of women one percenters where you are, right?
Look, I had a talk with some of my club's higher ups and some other clubs across this area. I'm going to say this. I got removed from an organization I was very proud to be a part of because my mouth said something that it shouldn't have, because my opinion got in the way. And I'm getting back to those levels where I was at again after recovering from that 30-second blip, the 2-sentence blip that I did back in November or October, whatever it was. I'm not going to comment on this particular situation because me and Black Dragon's on here now. Him and I had a conversation, and he did a deal on it. And he said, we got to get you and Big Bone on here. I said, look, this is what I feel about this. This is going to be one of those. Whatever we say is going to turn into we're chauvinistic pigs. We're not meeting the needs of we're being hypocrites because we're trying to fight for our own civil rights as bikers, but we're holding an entire group of bikers under a gender, right? We're holding them down. So everything we're fighting for, we're gonna, in a sense, screw it up. if we three right here wasn't on this live right here, you two would be on the floor laughing your asses off at the jokes I've been telling about how important it is to have them here. Now, I will say this. This is one community I don't give a shit what they say about, because being in a motorcycle club and being a biker is about being a man. We get the LGBTQ alphabet soup 1%ers, then I got all kinds of shit to say.
Look, let me tell you. Let me throw my 2 cents in there. I'm gonna say it like I mean it. So if now I should say ahead of time, if what I'm about to say is offensive to you, then I have to say fuck your feelings, because here's what happened. MC means man's club, it means motorcycle club, but we look at it a couple other ways. MC, man's club. Like I said a minute ago, this is where men are men and women are glad about it, because men, aside from being seemingly chauvinistic pigs and all that kind of stuff and mansplaining, all that old stuff that we hear, the truth of the matter is like this, is that I don't care who you are. Men and women are different. Don't mean that we don't love women and women don't love us, right? I never said that. What I said is that men, we're made a certain way. We get down a certain way. And there are those of us that are real men. And there's those of us that's just phoning it in, right? Women are not interested in a cat that don't know how to provide, that don't know how to protect, that don't know how to, it's in our DNA to lead, right? To lead and protect the family. That's the way it's really supposed to be. And by the way, if you don't like that, as much as we want subscribers, if you don't think that a man's supposed to be a man, unsubscribe and don't ever watch this shit no more, because you ain't ever gonna hear nothing different from the men that is going to be on this. And we're going to have some ladies that are on here too. Don't get me wrong. We got some ladies that are going to be on here too. And I feel like you'll be pleased to hear. And when they come on, make it your business. Stay around long enough to ask them some questions and see what they tell you, right? But having said that, it's like this MC thing, we don't want to see it watered down. That's why we do this show. We want for men to be men. We want the set to be the set. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to reestablish and reconfirm what this thing is that we do. If you with it, cool. If you're not,
Big Bo, can I say something?
Good. Yes, sir, please.
So as just a man, we talk about men being men, women being women, shit like that, right?
Right on.
This is how I kind of just equated this. Even bikers, hard-nosed, 1%ers, hard-nosed, battle hardened, PTSD, or just straight thug gangsters that love good, thugging and gunning, right? We like our women soft. We like our women where they love us. They like our women where they hold us with love, and they're the only ones in the world that are just happy to see us, even though they're pissed off at us most of the time. Okay, I don't like to play role reversal, even on International Women's Day. Okay, ain't happening. All right. I will say this. I could not imagine my beautiful, soft woman that I'm married to trying to come up to me and playing tough. She'll stab me before she tries to intimidate me. But
you will. I know her.
That's a whole different story, right? Yeah. But that's our own soft safety blanket there, right? Is our women. Outside of that, we have a certain thing that's expected of us. We have a certain way we walk, a swagger, a way we carry ourselves. All that's not taught, and all of that is because of how we're raised. We're raised to be men. I will just say that. The women are happy to have a man. I can't see it being anything other than very a way just to say, you know what, we're trying to redefine what a 1%er is. And right. Honestly, we redefined 1%er in the 60s and 70s and 80s when it was coming out, and like Four for the Road did a great 1%er history thing, a 2-part deal. And they talked about Hollister, they talked about the riots, they talked about Tecate, they talked about all those things that happened when that diamond and what that diamond meant. and that Diamond was 100% media driven, and you had some like some of the best people on the planet go, you know what, you just give me a gift to take into the history, right? And so it was about telling the AMA and telling the media and telling people, fuck you, you're not going to tell us how we're going to live. As a matter of fact, we're going to take this caveat and this is what we're going to do with this. And we're going to live life our own way. One of my brothers said this greatest thing today. I am a 1%er. I don't fucking care if you like me or not. I want you to hate me. I want you to have nothing to do with me. I love all my brothers here. This is my immediate family. But
Right
the
on.
whole rest of the world, I don't care if you think I'm a bully. I don't care if you think I'm this or that. I'm going to represent my club with class, and I don't care if you sit there and MF us the whole damn way. I don't care. I smile to know that you hate my guts. I smile to know that every time I walk into a room, you're staring at me. Because guess what? I am the big bad wolf. I just walked in and I'm fucking hungry.
And here's the crazy shit about that. And by the way, I dig that, man. Hold on, let me hit the button. But no, but look, I'll tell you like this. While and I agree and appreciate what you're saying. The thing is, we got to figure out who it is that we're talking about, who feels and thinks that way. Because here's the thing: the population at large, they're fed their idea of who and what we are from, you know, everybody says the media and the mainstream media. Yeah, the media does it, but then again, guess what? Other folks do it too. But if you're talking to somebody who lives next door to your clubhouse or down the street or your next door neighbor, they're going to have a real different way of thinking about who you are, because they're going to know that you're the one who made the sandbags during the hurricane. You're the one who watched out for the old lady down the street when the tree fell in her front yard. You're the ones who helped go and rode 20 minutes to go and jumpstart somebody's damn car. You're the one that did a whole lot of different things, and you're the one that they know they can call on because that's a biker and they have a code. Folks that know us know that that's really what's going on. They know that we actually do give a fuck about people.
Yeah, but there's a difference between the folks that know us and the ones that are hearing the shit about us that don't know us. That's why organizations like the National Council of Clubs got started.
I was just going to say
in Waco, you know, we had to get out there and hear our voice. Now, if 1%ers come out here across this country and start, and it's a catch-22, man. It is really a catch-22. If we come out and we sandbag this group of women, then we have gone against everything we've worked to build and fulfill to change the image of the biker, right? We, as motorcyclists, look at each other. Hey, you ride your shit hard, you fucking crack that wick and you're at it, man, you're a biker. You ride in the rain, you ride in the cold, you don't give a shit. You put them miles on 25, 30,000 a year, maybe more, right? What was the definition of a 1%er? A person who carries themselves in a certain way, walks to the beat of their own drum, don't give a fuck how the rest of the world looks at them, understands the history of it, and is down for its club up to including losing their life for the club.
Life or freedom, but I'm with you. But look, I'll tell you, and look, I agree with what you're saying. The perception, like, you know, again, perception's reality. So my perception of it is like this: we're gonna do what the fuck we want to do because we have rules that are our rules. In some kind of way, we got to kind of figure out how to merge those into the rest of society's rules. But at the end of the day, the rules that matter to me are what my brothers say, what me and my brothers come up with. That's how we get down. That's how we get down. And as far as women, I want to make it real clear. We don't hate women. In fact, we love women. We love women to the point where we want our women to know that they're loved, respected, and appreciated. Nobody else is going to touch them, bother them. They're safe as in their mother's arms, when in fact they are a part of what we do. And by a part, I don't mean a member. I mean a part as in they're a guest. You know, and again, we can argue all day whether there's supposed to be 1 PO or 50. But at the end of the day, the one thing we all get clear is that's somebody else's PO. Act accordingly. We can all agree on that. So the number is not really the thing. And, you know, and we ain't never had an issue. Most of us interacting with just that. Even when this guy from this club and that guy from that club are into it, guess who they gonna leave the fuck alone? That PO. Social clubs, that's different. And it's not, I'm not against social clubs. You know, I think it's different. I'm
Okay, so if
against
you
men in
fuck
social
with one
clubs.
with these female 1% clubs PO,
Oh no.
and he's
Whoa,
a
whoa.
big old he's a big old
thing.
brawly
You said
motherfucker.
different thing.
Who? If you get your ass beat down by somebody's PO, then now how are we looking at this?
Look, a female 1% club, I think that's a joke. Look, like my brother just said, I bet not see it. Real talk.
I mean, it
I bet
has to
not see
come.
it.
You
Say
know,
what?
you ever heard the old saying back in the day that, well, it's true to this day, that if you don't stand for something, then you fall for anything.
Damn
You know what I
right.
mean? Certain things just ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? This is like, okay, you gon' you walk around and you go to Walmart and you buy those Sons of Anarchy shit and you walk around like that and okay and you think that's something you don't understand what really goes on this side of the track. You know what I mean? This is not a fashion statement. You wearing that
Right.
diamond actually means something. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, okay, there's one time out of the year that you can run around and play dress up. And we just passed that a couple days
October
ago.
31st.
That should be as far as it goes dealing with with a female wearing a diamond. You got one day out the year. That's October 31st. That's it. That's all. But
Well, that even depends on who you run into because that might not even fly in some places.
Hey,
see, but
fellas, quick question.
hold on.
No, go ahead.
One more thing, and I'm gonna sit back.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
If they got any kind of question as to whether they can do this, and you understand this one thing, and you understand it very well, and I hope one of them's actually on here that's watching. You play big boy games, you suffer big boy consequences.
Woo.
What it is that you're dealing with.
Well, I'll add to that.
Facts.
This is something that I learned, and I truly believe in it now. It took me a while to stomach this, but once you understand what you just said, I always believe in respecting my elders. I always I go out of my entire way to never hit a female. But if you're going to step in the realm of disrespect and you're going to get into the big boy games, I'll slap the teeth out of a 90-year-old and I'll knock the teeth out of a woman's throat. But other than that, you stay out of that world, you don't have those problems. You show respect, you get respect. Everything about this is respect. When we talked about the support clubs, it's about loyalty. You know, this is real serious shit, and it I hate to say it like this, but I feel like Ashton Kutcher's gonna jump out here on three of us here pretty soon. It's gonna be we're all punked at once, and he's gonna set a record.
Hey, quick question. Amber Whiskey asked a good question. What about American Legion Riders, chartered in 1919?
Go to Insane Throttle's show and look under the American Legion deal with Shaggy 1%er and Clutch from the NCOC discusses the American Legion and the American Legion Riders and their discrimination against 1% bikers, and that will answer your question.
Okay.
I don't want to get into the American Legion Riders and all that stuff because I am prior military. I have dealt with the American Legion Riders, the AMBET Riders, the BFW Riders, the military, blah, 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 blah. But you're not in the fucking goddamn MC community. You're not even RC. You are a part of a post. You're not even, you just ride a motorcycle.
Man, Shaggy, you're killing me right now because you stole it from me. No, it's stole, But my thing is like this. I'm a member. Being a Marine, of course, I'm a member of the American Legion. I'm not a member of the American Legion Riders. And what I've noticed is that you might run into one group over here, which is real quick to say, hey, you guys are cool. And let me keep it 100. I was invited to become a member of the American Legion Riders in my area whilst I was with my existing club, Diamond and all. I was wearing my rags at the time. And I said, how can that possibly be? How can you invite me to become a member of your organization knowing full fucking well that I'm a diamond wearing motherfucking outcast? How can that be? Oh,
because of their constitution.
Because they're not a proper club. And I'm not
a club at all.
American Legion Riders. Yo, y'all do your thing, but if I could give a little pointer, stay in your lane. Stay in your motherfucking lane.
That's the thing. They don't know their lane. I have personally talked with the American Legion uh, international president. He's up there in D.C. because of the particular incident. I told you guys to go back and check Hollywood when we the NCOC we stepped up and had this conversation. They allow cops to run the narrative as their board members. They don't want. There was a time. I don't know if it's gotten any better or not, but they don't want one percenters there. And I did 13 years in the Navy. I honorably served my country and would do it all over again. We joke all the time. I hear about Marines, Seabees, back and forth. Army. I mean that's very prevalent on this show. It's prevalent on any shows that you and I are on, Big Bone. We always talk about that. Matter of fact, Marine Corps birthday's coming up pretty soon. Veterans Day's right the next day. You know what I'm saying? But then my government labeled me a domestic terrorist, and then the American Legion riders are going to ban me from going in there because I'm wearing a 1% diamond.
Wait a minute. Who said you're a domestic terrorist?
The Patriot Act.
Well, you got to tell them that, hey, I'm a racist. I'm not a domestic terrorist. That's different. Everybody knows that.
Well, I'm too lazy to pinpoint one flaw that I have, so I just say I'm an equal opportunist.
Yo, I hear you. So Big C says the difference in support was support. Then let me see if I can read this right. Difference in support was support. Then now it's chest patches and only way for permission, including a resource for prospects. Never seen a social club. Peeps wearing support gear. Social hangarounds. So I don't know what the hell that meant, but I read it. But thank you. I will tell you like this though. This is just a little sidebar. I was thinking this earlier. As it relates to support gear, support patches, and like that, difference on the black side and the white side. On the black side, you just don't get that. You know what I mean? If you're not a member of that club or part of that family, if you will, support club and so on and so forth, you ain't gonna be running around with support patches or support gear for whomever without there being a reason for you to be wearing that. On the white side, you can buy that shit on Amazon. No.
Well, see, you can't label the whole white side like that because the smaller 1% clubs and they're like they always talk about. I think it used to be the Big Four. I think it's now up to the Big 8 or 9, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: selling support shirts and shit like that doesn't. It isn't a big money maker for the smaller club. But it's typically to a local area, right? You're not buying my support gear online. Wish is not going to be selling our shit. Okay, we're very our supporters are very very special and very important people to us because they're true and to who they are, and they know how to conduct themselves before they bought that shirt because of the reputation the club has. We truly believe that if you're going to buy that shirt, you damn sure better wear it proudly and properly,
right?
And
exactly.
Don't be calling us to come back you up because you're stupid, because we're not going to.
Let me address that real quick too. So, because I think I want to say both of y'all touched on this a little earlier, but so it works like this as it relates to support patches and support gear, support hats, t-shirts, miscellaneous bumper stickers, whatever. So you're out in the world now. While we've differentiated the differences as to what your obligation may be by being in a support club on either side of the fence, we did that. But here's the thing. That's amongst us. If you leave your state and go 3 states over and you're wearing a support shirt, support patch from whoever your dominant is, and you're in somebody else's area and them folks don't like it, you best better be willing, ready, willing, and able to actually support what you're wearing. I'll leave it like that. Archbishop, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you wear it, you better know what it is that you're wearing. You know what I mean? I mean, that goes without saying. Like I said, that's where you got those different ones that, you know, they wear it because they want to feel like they're involved. You know what I mean? They don't know the ins and outs and everything that's going on. So when they get approached by somebody else from another club or whatever, they don't know the answer to that. They just know that, like, yeah, they're in my area and I'm wearing this shirt. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Not knowing what they just set themselves up for. You know, so that's why I never agreed with selling support club shirts and stuff like that to you know what I mean, to people that's not actually affiliated. I mean, it has some
Right,
actual affiliation to where they actually know what's going on.
right. I know there's a guy, right? Now, here's what happens. Now, I'll tell you about a thing that happened not that long ago. I know of, and I spoke with, without going into great uh, details about this, I had to reach out to some leadership to find out what this was and what was the rule on it and all that. Anyway, there's a civilian who is a strong supporter of a dominant club, and he was gifted for doing some good stuff. He was gifted a support patch it's on the black side, and I said, "Well, hey, is that a thing? Like, is that?" And the way it was explained to me is, if that individual is worthy of that gift and they live up to the ideals that that gift embodied, then they in fact could wear it, rock it, the whole freaking thing on the black side. Now on the white side, and again, I understand what you said, Shaggy. I got you. So I guess that's also geographical, but uh, in the area that we're talking about, anybody could get in the area we're talking about. Anybody that wanted to wear support patch from a certain club on the white side, they could get it in a certain area. But in this area, on the black side, that don't just go out. And this one guy was gifted this thing and wanted to know, hey, could I wear that? And after some conversation, they said, if this, if that, if the other thing, then yes. I was like, wow. And I've not seen that, but on the black side, I've only seen that 3, maybe 4 times where I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how it works. And, in my personal opinion, that's the way it ought to be. If you're going to put that on, let's make sure that you're worthy and got the right mindset and understand what the hell that means. And if you do, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. And again, I'm not beating up
Well,
on nobody
so
how they get down. I'm just saying on my side of the fence, that's the way it is.
so here's the thing, especially with the white side. Um, one, you mentioned the one club that you get online and stuff like that. Um, there's a saying out there: you buy it, you own it, right? If you gonna wear it, you gonna rock it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Your club's not responsible for your actions. They're not going to protect you. You go out there and act a fool. Um, you get beat up on your own. You say something stupid, or you try to act like you're one of that club, that sports shirt you're wearing. Um, you're on your own, right?
Yeah, I know.
Um, uh, and so for some of the other smaller clubs, and I even say particularly for mine, our supporters, man, a lot of our supporters, we have their phone numbers. They'll respond to help us if they're closer or whatever, or they have a personal relationship with us. Like they come to our parties, spend time with us. I don't know all of our supporters. I don't even know all our supporters in my own chapter because there's uh so much interaction that I'm still I a human can only know, I think it's 120 people, I think, total, and then things start getting changed. So I'm more concerned with my club. If somebody wants to buy a support shirt, I'll happily sell them one. But I always tell them the disclaimer is, you're not me, you're not my brother. Uh, we absolutely appreciate your support, but you take this, you take the risk of one, as a law side of it. as a known associate, which is it gets you drawn into a RICO case. Two, if you go into somebody's area that may not like my club or may not like us, and they tell you to turn that inside out, and you think you're going to be all big, bad, and tough, I'll support them. Hey, man, we're going to love you for that, standing that ground. However, pause for effect, you should have used your brain before you thought you were just going to stomp around and traipse around the country wearing support gear and not think somebody's going to say, hey, check it out. I'm going to give you one chance and one chance only. And I've seen this a million times over the years. You in the wrong place wearing that shit. And if you think you're as tough as you are, hey, rock that shit. But we're going to bring as many people. We don't know how many people it may take, but we're going to bring as many as it's going to take. And not only are you going to turn that fucking thing inside out, it's going to be cut off of you.
Hey, Shaggy.
And these clubs are like that.
Shaggy, Ron White said, I don't know how many motherfuckers they thought it was gonna take to beat my ass, but I know how many they
took
used.
them all. That's right.
Because I know how many they used. Hey, Archbishop, Black Dragon has a question, and Lord of mercy, you saw that?
I've
Black
seen
Dragon says
for the past 5 minutes. I don't, I'm trying. You know what? Today's Sunday. I ain't trying to go to hell.
You did the finger.
All right, so because you asked Archbishop this, and he's saying it's Sunday, I don't fucking care it's Sunday. This is another day to me. Let's talk about this transgender shit. This has happened. So it's story time. Y'all ready for this? This is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. So I'm not going to name the club. I'm not going to name who it was that I spoke with or anything like that. But so a close friend of mine calls me. He says, Shaggy, you're not going to believe it. You're really not going to. He says, I got this guy. He is a hardcore rider, got a beautiful wife, shows up to the clubhouse, parties with us, has a great time. We're real close. We served together in the same unit in the Navy. And, he's really interested in my club. And so I called one of my brothers across the country because he's transferring to another base. And I really wanted this brother to take care of this guy because me and that brother are really close. He says, so I called him up and I'll use the word Jim. Jim is transferring out there to you guys. And hey, brother, I've been sponsoring this guy out here. He didn't quite make the time frame minimum for a hang around, but I'd like you to pick up the pieces up when he gets out there and he's settled in, he's all ready. And you'll take care of this cat for me? And that dude's brother on the other end said, fuck no, man. I remember when Jim was Jenny and we were in the Navy together. That motherfucker worked at Supply. She was a cunt then, and just because she's got a dick now, don't change shit. So I did right what you two are doing. I am in tears. Like I'm doing the laugh where no sound's coming out because I've lost my breath. Like you're fucking kidding me, right? No kidding. And he says, Shaggy, what would you do? America, here's what I would do. I would prospect the living fuck out of that son of a bitch. I'd make him wear a pink cut, and if that bad son of a bitch could make it through it, I'm telling you right now,
shit.
He deserves to be there. One, two. This puts a 1%er or a man, whether 1% or not, in a really funny trick bag. So I would take this little bastard, whatever he is, to every uncomfortable situation out there. So something I'm trying to get some shit to pop off.
So
I want a fight to happen. Hold on, this gets great. If this chick or dude beats the fuck out of that 1%er, now that 1%er just got beat up by a girl. Now, if that 1%er beats the piss out of this transgender, has he just beat up a girl? Is he a woman beater? It's a no-win situation. I got jokes for days on this. This guy said, brother, I love you. I got to go. I'm like, no, dude, you brought this to me. You're hearing it all.
All right, so look.
This is a true story. I am not kidding.
Oh, I hear you. I'll tell you. I'll tell you like this. So my little 2 cents on the subject is like this, and all of that stuff makes sense to me. But you know, I wish I could. I wish I could say it a little more eloquently. I'll just say it like this: is that I think, man, I ain't trying to reinvent the wheel here. Look, once upon a time, if a guy was a guy and a girl was a girl, and that's all. That's the options that we had, and that's how I get down. That's all I got on that shit. But yeah, I mean, and look, there. Who knows? I mean, I feel like if the transgendered folks want to, whichever, considering that there is a among some clubs on a certain level, there's a racial identity and there's also a gender identity. If they want to make a whole new thing, go do their thing, but stay in their lane. I'm not even suggesting that there should be, but if they do, man, stay in your lane. That's just my take on it. Then Archbishop is a racist. So what say you, sir?
I ain't racist. I just call spade a spade. It's just what it is. I've seen the question that Black Dragon put on there, and I was sitting there like it was like 1,001 different answers.
Hold on, Washington.
And I'm fuming at the same time because I'm like, okay, I could really explode on this question right here, but I'm not gonna do it. It's like you pushing me. It's like the more I go out, the more you drag me back in.
How do you think I feel, man? I've had to play politics here, which is supposed to be a fun show. You know how hard it is to keep my mouth shut of what I think about this topic?
Hey, fellas, we just got a call.
I'm missing half my fucking tongue.
Yo, so listen, hey, so we got it, fellas, we got a caller. Man, thank you, whoever this is. Thank you for calling doggone Big BoneYard tonight. Chop it up with myself, doggone Archbishop 1%er, Shaggy 1%er. Who's on the line?
Hey, what's going on, Big Bone? Archbishop, Shaggy. Good to hear from you. See you guys on. This is actually Doberman on twos, man. I've been chopping it up with you on IG.
Yeah. Doberman, what's up, man?
It's an honor to talk to y'all. Chilling, man. You know, I think when it comes to the whole transgender thing, I think the biggest problem that's going on is like they're a bunch of like they start bullying. Like the atmosphere they provide now is a bully's atmosphere, so you can't really speak on it. And the issue is, I think people think that like they have to impress their opinion upon other people. They can't just do their own thing. Like no one cares what I'm doing in my house with my wife, and I don't care what they're doing in their house with their significant other. It doesn't matter to us. But why you got to shove it down people's throat is the question. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, what was this guy's name again?
That's Doberman.
Doberman, let me explain something to you. You just hit something. You just hit a nail on the head. And the nail you hit on the head is go back and search the Romans. Go back and search life that was way back then, the Mesopotamians, that is. Go look at these 1,000-year realms. What destroyed them all? It's these minorities of men who quit being men, started being very flagrant, and then started being very open with their flagrancy, becoming their minorities who started becoming a very loud voice just by voice. And societies as a whole, in our past, like I'm a history guy, man. I love history. And if you go back and research this shit, every time that a society has fell is when men quit being men. Women quit being women. Minorities took over society. Okay? And that's what you see every day on the TV now. I grew up in the 80s, the crack epidemic, AIDS epidemic, that whole 9 yards. I see more AIDS commercials today, watching the news in the morning with my morning coffee, making bets with my wife on how many people got killed here in St. Louis. And I tell you right now, every one of the AIDS commercials has to do with gay couples. Not like it was in the 80s where they were shooting heroin or, the sex or the blood transfusions and all the unknown things because it's so new. It has to do with the gay community. I don't need that shit shoved down my throat or my kids' throat or my grandkids. I don't need that. Okay, we don't.
The real talk, like if you think about
Society
it,
is reversing.
no one cares about their facts.
No, they care, and that's why they're doing what they're doing.
Yo, I got a complaint. So Doberman on twos. The problem was, so
Yes, sir.
this weekend I was in Murder Mountain. My life was in danger, right? And you knew about it. And instead of
It's a dry heat.
Instead of driving your ass up from San Diego to Northern California to help, don't be there, something like that. You just let me go on my happy way, traipsing around in the mountains where all that stuff be going on. You could have warned a brother.
It was cold as hell, huh?
It was cold. It was cold as hell, and they kill folks there. And nobody told me till after I got back. I came back not dead and stuff, but you could have. I'm just saying, you could have, helped the brother out, that part. But anyway,
hey, my bad, man. Hey, I'm from Queens. So my wife was from out here in Cali, so I'm very limited on my Cali knowledge.
Yeah. Hey, look. Real talk though. I didn't know. I mean, I knew while I was there or whatever like that, but I didn't know until I got back, and somebody said, "Hey, watch the documentary," and I'm like, "Oh, damn." Now everything made sense. Some other stuff made sense. Anyway, I'm going to shut the hell up. Doberman on twos, man. Thanks for calling in. Look, stay plugged in, man, because we got to talk about some things. So stay plugged in. And matter of fact, since you did, hit me up, and I'm going to make sure we get you some nice swag from the Big BoneYard, man.
That's up, man. Appreciate you.
All right, now.
Hey,
yeah, he was. Oh, damn! I hit the button too quick. But look, fellas, we ain't gonna stay on here forever all night. But let's see what some folks is talking about. Iron Horse said, "It is Big Bone." What I was saying earlier, he said it's a joke and it's fucking disrespectful. Talking about the the earlier subject, and it's disrespectful. And at the end of the day, it's fucking disrespectful. And look, I feel you. That's why we said what we said. Let's see here. Big C says, I know nothing about clubs, and I know nothing about clubs and an incident when Legion Riders got their patches stripped. Okay, well, that could happen too. Big C said,
It has.
There's something else. I was saying sometimes support is forced by dominance to get permission to exist as an MCRC. Some support, and that's why he says sometimes, support clubs have become a resource for dominant prospects. Somebody made a comment about something like that earlier, like that they were asking the question, or they were posing, are support clubs basically prospects for the dominant? By and large, I would say no, because that's not really what it is. But it's not uncommon for somebody to come from a support club to what we call step up. I know, Shaggy, you don't like that expression, but with someone who might go from one thing to a support club, ultimately to the dominant club, that's the thing that happens. I wouldn't say that support club is a prospect club for the dominant, but I'm not saying that doesn't kind of happen. Not so much.
I gotta be truthful about the whole thing, man. Back in the day, the term was used. They were a farm club.
Say again.
We used to use the term back in the day. They were our farm club.
Farm club, yeah.
We were setting them up for success. And not everybody. Man, there's guys who've been in support clubs 20, 30 years. That's all they want to do. But there's guys that they are young. They go in there, and it's a road. It's a journey that they take to better themselves and prepare themselves for, when they're ready to remember minor leagues, major league.
Yeah, and so the term farm club, that still exists, and that's still a thing. I mean, but that's different. Being a farm club is different than being a whole club full of prospects. That's not really what it's about. Even though now, as a support club, you should do as a support club. Let me be clear: as a support club, if your dominant asks you to help out or to this, that, and other thing, you should do it. But there's a difference between a support club, or between your dominant asking you to help out with a thing and help out and do everything. You ain't supposed to be nobody's slaves. This is my opinion. You ain't supposed to be nobody's slaves. But as a support club, guess what? You're allowed to and encouraged to support. You know, it's like if I'm doing it, you can help me do it. But I'm not going to tell you to
If you're
go.
going to wear my support patch, you're going to honor that.
Right, right. I'm not going to tell you that, hey, man, you know, my car is looking a little dusty. Why don't you come over here and detail this joint? But if I'm detailing my car and we're chopping it up about a thing, what you doing? Da, 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 da. Man, I'm over here. I'm detailing my car, then we going to go eat some food. And let me come fuck with you. Man, okay, cool. That's a very different thing than come over here and do this while I take a nap and rest my feet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's just very different. But fellas, I gotta say, let's look through. I'm trying to look through right quick.
There was a question on there. There was a comment on there that Frost put on there.
Oh, what was
I
it?
saw that too.
What'd he say?
He said that he no longer got the patch, but he still has his support patches that his big bros allowed him to keep them. Where the hell you get that from, bro? When you get them rags up, that patch go too. That patch don't belong to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know why you even put that on there, bro.
Yeah. I didn't see that earlier. I see it now. All right. Okay. Well,
yeah, that's a misconception. Everybody thinks that they could.
That's some different shit. But
anything that the club gave you to put on your vest belongs to the club. Period. If it's got the number of your club, the alphabetic initials, anything with the logos, it don't belong to you.
no, I feel you. See, Big C says today there are supports that exactly that. Some are forced. Okay, all right. I think we just seen that. Some are forced. Okay, yeah, we've seen that a minute ago.
Well, so about the forced thing,
Yeah,
they're not forced. That's a myth. They're given an option.
right.
They chose option A or option B.
Yeah,
And so it could be looked at as they're being forced because that group was so stubborn they wanted to be around because it's either you're going to be there and do this or you're not going to be here at all.
no, I feel you. So let me throw this out here. Ghost Eagle says, if you look at TV today, you see men-ish wearing man buns, cry at the whim. Women have more balls than most dudes do. The trans crap and the rest of the alphabets are tearing our society apart. So I think like this, and you hear me and Shaggy talking about the man buns and the skinny jeans and all like that. I say it all the time, man. The MC, this is a man's club. This is where men are men and women are glad about it. You talk to a real woman, she wants a real man who's going to do his thing. Because especially you talk about these alpha females and all that kind of stuff. If you got a woman who's getting it in, handling her business every day, she does not want to come home to some dude in a skirt. Just saying.
Man, they can't be referred to as alpha females. They're called matriarchs.
Look, and if you think I'm lying, y'all women call me out on it. If I'm lying, call me out on it. I would love to have that discussion. In the meantime, though, I'll tell you what, fellas, we've been at it for 2 hours and 23 minutes and 8 seconds, and this has been a great show. This has actually been, for those of y'all that didn't know, this has been an auspicious occasion for us in the sense that we did meet our goal of the 1,000 subscribers, and guess what? Now we're working on 2,000, and it's thanks to folks like Archbishop, of course, joining this show and making it even better than it was. Shaggy always being there to support us, and a number of other folks that aren't here with us tonight. We got Hollywood from Insane Throttle. We got Black Dragon from Black Dragon Biker TV and the Round Table. We got guys like Hood from the Mighty Outcast Nation. We got a lot of good folks, Wise from Outcast. We have a lot of folks who have wished us well and supported us, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it in a huge way. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and wrap up on this subject, and get my brothers to say their two-piece on the support clubs and things related to support clubs. Y'all keep watching. I definitely got to encourage you to do that. If you are watching tonight, though, make it your business to hit the like button, say your two-piece, make a comment. But definitely, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and do it. Go to YouTube, check out the Big BoneYard, find us. You can find us through my social media, Archbishop's social media. I'm pretty sure Shaggy's social media. Find us and make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff they always say on these podcast type shows. But Shaggy, what say you to wrap it up on the support club thing? If you was to give us a nugget, what would it be?
Be true to yourself. Treat those clubs that you're supporting like your brothers, because they're going to treat you like you're their brothers. Respect, communication, participation makes every organization great. And make your organization that's a support club for these big clubs and these 1% clubs by following along with what their agenda and ideals are. And you do that by riding your motorcycle, flying your colors, hanging out with your brothers, sharing your brotherhood, loving your brothers unconditionally, and finally respecting each other and riding your fucking motorcycle.
Right on. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Stop for a second. Did you say that motorcycle clubs have to ride motorcycles?
Well, I coined a term earlier with one of the brothers, and he looked at me and goes, "Man, I never heard that before." It doesn't stand for mostly couches.
Gotcha. Right on. Hey, Archbishop, what say you, sir?
You know what, Shaggy summed all that up. But I do want to bring up, number one, like I said, thanks everybody for the 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully we're gonna keep pushing it. We got some more stories coming out. We got a couple gems we're working on that we about to put out in the next couple of weeks. Couple real good shows. Second thing is that as of today, we started a new Big BoneYard Facebook page, it's actual group. Where it has like an actual chat line and everything on there. So if you on Facebook, go on the Big BoneYard group, and you got questions, comments, whatever you want to ask on there, that's an extension of this show, you can. So that's another thing that we just started today. So jump on there and check it out.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you mentioned that too. I'm extremely excited about that because I think the way you said it, Archbishop, is that Facebook page is really an extension of this show, and I think a lot of our viewers, these boneheads, man, y'all are great folks. Of course, we see every week boneheads talking to each other while we're talking about whichever, and that's mad cool because people are sharing knowledge and opinions, and sometimes it's just, hey, how the hell was your day, right? But it's good stuff. So now if you want to stay in the loop, connect with some of these folks, hit that Facebook page and make sure you join that Facebook page, man, because it's really, that's what's up. It's really a wonderful extension of this thing because we don't stop being, we're not just bikers for an hour or two on Sunday. You know what I mean? It's like we're doing our thing 7 days a week on the regular. I mean, all of us, this is just where we get to stop for a minute and share a few thoughts and ideas and chop it up and answer some questions and all like that. But we definitely appreciate y'all. We appreciate what y'all have helped build this thing into. And, it's mad cool. And we appreciate y'all an awful lot. I'll say my 2 cents on on the support club thing. Like we say a lot of times, support club, these are a bunch of grown ass men. Did nobody put a gun to your head and say you need to come and go and do this. These are folks that for the same reason we became a part of our organizations, these people became a part of their organizations. They're loved, respected, and appreciated. But like both of my brothers have said, it's about respect. Carry yourself like a man, interact with other people, treat other people like men. You give it like you get it. Give respect, get respect. If you made a decision, like Archbishop said, it's about loyalty. Be loyal to whom you chose to be loyal to. And like Shaggy said, you cannot serve two masters. You know what I mean? It's no such thing as having 2, 3, 4, 5 dominants in your chapter or in your club, right? Pick a side, rock with that. But in the meantime, though, I want the support clubs to know out there you're appreciated. You're definitely an important part of the MC community. You know, do your thing. And if you choose to step up, make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. You know, we're glad that you're here. You know, so I hope that throughout all the conversation that we talked about, you understand we're glad that you're here. You heard me say earlier, stay in your lane. My brother said, stay in your lane, you know, like that. That's because we get down a different way than you do. If you want to get down like we do, then it's time to step up. But if you don't, that's cool too, you know. But in the meantime, we appreciate you in general, support clubs. Hey, we got love for you. But in the meantime, I got to tell y'all, thank you so much for spending time with us and joining us tonight on the Big BoneYard. We're going to be back here in exactly 1 week. In case you wasn't sure, same bat time, same bat channel. We're going to be back doing this damn thing again, man. So thank you again for joining me, Archbishop, and Shaggy on the Big BoneYard.
Congratulations on your 1,000.
Right on, brother. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Big BoneYard. Enter at your own risk.
Who?